Me again to listen to another story that I'm going to tell you. This is our second show with Story Time with Mother Goose. And of course, you do know who I am. Mother Goose is the one that writes all the nursery rhymes. And I hope that your parents are reading the nursery rhymes to you. They're so important and so much fun. Today, I'm reading a story called T-Boy and the Terrible Turtle. One rascal's reptile trip across the Bayou State. And this is by Mel LeCompte, Jr. Last time I read a story by him too. It was the ice cream cow. But this one is another wonderful story, T-Boy and the Terrible Turtle. One rascal reptile's trip across the Bayou State. And remember what I said? What is the Bayou State? The Bayou State is our state, Louisiana. So see, you've learned something new today. Can I read this story to you? I know you're going to enjoy it. T-Boy was just a Louisiana kid, one with a terrible turtle that ran away. Oh, yes, he did. See, here is T-Boy fishing. And he's fishing, and the little turtle is getting ready to run away. The turtle was missing. T-Boy worried loudly. Oh, that's just great. My pet could be hiding almost anywhere in this great Bayou State. And remember what I told you, the Bayou State is the state of Louisiana. And there's a picture of the state of Louisiana right here. T-Boy knew his turtle loved the water and really wet things. So he started his search in the town of Abita Springs. Here he is searching for his turtle, and he's starting out in the town of Abita Springs. T-Boy went to Baton Rouge, but found only a tiger there. He knew the turtle was too smart to be hiding in a Bengal's lair. And here he is visiting in Baton Rouge, where he found the tiger. T-Boy looked all around. He looked once and he looked twice. He even looked in Crowley, where they all grow rice. Now, are any of you from Crowley? They do grow a lot of rice in Crowley, but he could not find his turtle. It wasn't there. Crowley's rice fields were way too muggy, so T-Boy went to Church Point in a horse-drawn buggy. And he's riding along in a horse-drawn buggy right now. Nowadays we have cars, don't we? But he's riding in a horse-drawn buggy. And he's still looking for his turtle, his terrible turtle. But the turtle wasn't there. Was something wrong? T-Bird searched everywhere, even the little old town of Dry Prong. That's another little town in Louisiana. You know about Dry Prong, don't you? In the city of Eunice, the turtle couldn't be found any place. Thank goodness, said T-Boy. I don't think a turtle would do too well in a chicken chase. Now, you know at Mardi Gras time that when you go to Eunice, they have these wonderful times when they chase chickens and they catch the chickens to make gumbo. T-Boy went to Franklin when he needed rest. There he met a nice old man named Mike on his way to the town's Bear Fest. Franklin is known for their Bear Festival. See, there's a big black bear right there. And he still can't find his turtle. Next step was Gramercy as T-Boy continued his trip. Now he didn't find his pet turtle, but the kid found some darn good chips. Gramercy is another town in the state, in our Bayou state. By the time he got to Houma, T-Boy was wishing and hoping and wishing he'd find the terrible turtle so he could get on with some good fishing. But T-Boy still couldn't find his turtle, even in Houma, another city in the state of Louisiana. So you're learning all about the states, aren't you? All about the cities in the state of Louisiana. T-Boy asked aloud, "Where can that turtle be?" A nice lady said, "I don't know." "Did you try Jonesboro? That might be the place to go." But he didn't find him in Jonesboro. He wasn't there either. But instead, T-Boy went to Kentwood and thought, "Hey, this is it." Yet there were no turtles to be found, just the home of a famous Brit. And we all know who that is. The famous Brit is Britney Spears. I believe she's a performer, and she's from the city of Kentwood. T-Boy searched from the marshes of Lake Charles to Lafayette's Festival International. So everyone knows Lake Charles, and of course, here in Lafayette, you should know all about Festival International. It's a wonderful festival that we have here. He still couldn't find his turtle, though. Although he didn't find his old pet, he made a lot of new pals. So he met a lot of wonderful people when he was traveling throughout our state and going through many of the cities with many different types of people throughout our state. He made it to LeCompte, where he couldn't believe his eyes. No, he didn't find a turtle. He didn't find his turtle, but pies of every flavor and size. And we're familiar with LeCompte and the wonderful pies that they have there. T-Boy two-stepped his way back down south. Well, as best as he could do, he shimmied, he shook, and he did a little jig down in the town of Big Mamu. And I know, here he is doing a little bit of a dance. He's trying to do a two-step with his little friend in Mamu. And he's got his white boots on right here, and he's having a good old time, but he still couldn't find his turtle. It was on Sunday that T-Boy rested in Monroe and read the Bible for a while. Instead of having a turtle chasing fit, he decided to have a Coke and a smile. And there's a beautiful water fountain that they show in Monroe. And he's resting and reading a book at the same time. He cooled down in Natchitoches by the Cane River Lake. The Festival of Lights was going on, so T-Boy had to be good for goodness sake. And we know that in Natchitoches, they have a wonderful Christmas festival there every year. And there's a picture of Santa Claus right there. As I mentioned before, that's my sister is Mrs. Claus, Rosie Claus, and she's married to Santa. T-Boy second lined to New Orleans, but must have gotten lost. For he started at the mouth of the Mississippi River, yet wound up in a vat of New Iberia hot sauce. Now, here we are. This is a picture in New Orleans in that he has right here where they're doing a second line. And I'm sure that all of you know what a second line is. It's a fun way of dancing in a line to music. And usually you have an umbrella or you have a handkerchief that you wave up in the air. And of course, you know about New Iberia. That's where they have the Tabasco hot sauce. But he couldn't find the turtle there either. He looked, but he didn't find him. T-Boy searched for his poor turtle down in the Big O. That's the city of Opelousas, the home of yams and Zydeco. And of course, you know Opelousas is famous for that, for their yams and their Zydeco. And there's a picture of all that right there. T-Boy looked in Pineville and Alexandria, but all he found in his search was a group of Red River wildcats singing sweetly in a church. It's a beautiful picture right here with T-Boy still trying to find his turtle. Now here's where he's in Pineville and he's in Alexandria too. The search for the terrible turtle seemed like it never would end. But T-Boy knew to never give up, even if the town he found was Quitman. You've heard of Quitman before? That's another little town in Louisiana. And we have a beautiful sun here and a horse with a little heart above his head. It's a wonderful book. T-Boy took a rest in rain, sitting comfortably on a log. What was that? Something green? Darn it, it was only a frog. And I know you know about the Rain has the Frog Festival in the city of Rain. And they always have frogs that they have in the jumping contest. But T-Boy is not looking for a frog. He's looking for his terrible turtle. Perhaps the turtle went to Shreveport by one way or the other. T-Boy checked all around this crawfish town, best known as Bossier City's bigger brother. So some other towns in Louisiana is Shreveport and Bossier City. I love this book because you learn so much about all the cities in Louisiana. With his pet not there, T-Boy went to Shungaloo. Not because he thought that he'd find the turtle, but because saying Shungaloo was fun to do. Here he is sitting in a classroom in a school. And it was in the city of Shungaloo. T-Boy took the train to Tallulah and looked all over the station. He even looked in the historic shopping mall, you know, the first one in the nation. And that's in Tallulah. See, he's in a shopping mall right now. Then the quest to find his pet suit turned to mania. For who'd be so desperate to look for a turtle in small town Urania? That's another small town, and he's right there showing his little picture of his turtle because he's still trying to find his turtle and he can't find him anywhere. Where could that turtle be? T-Boy sat and thought and thought and sat while watching the tea cotton bowl in the town of Ville Platte. And I'm sure some of you may be living in Ville Platte, if I'm sure of that, right? And there's a picture right there, and it's a football game with the Wildcats for the Cotton Bowl. The terrible turtle could be anywhere as far as T-Boy would know. So he grabbed a snack and grabbed a map, and east he went to west we go. And that's another little town in the state of Louisiana, West we go. That's fun to say. About the turtle, yeah, we're almost to the end of that story. All I know is he stopped in Winsboro to take a moment and pay some respect to the USA and Old Glory. And here's a picture of the turtle dressed up as a soldier, and it's in Winsboro. So I love this picture. It's so nice, and it has the American flag, Old Glory. It's so wonderful. T-Boy even searched the town of, now this is going to be a fun word, Exodobit, yeah. You're probably saying, I don't know a city in Louisiana by that name. It's Xuadobit. So he even searched in the town of Exodobit, a strange place for the map to show, until he realized he was holding the map backwards. Was T-Boy really in Thibodeau? Thibodaux. That's right, he had the map backwards. And we thought it was the town of Exabodo. Oh, Mother Goose is having a problem with that. Well, let's just say Thibodeau. He's in the town of Thibodeau. The search for the terrible turtle was getting to be a pain. It's hard for a little boy to find such a small pet in 6-foot-high Youngsville sugarcane. Now, sugarcane is in Youngsville, and that's right down the road from here. So this is a beautiful picture again. And it's hard to find a turtle in a sugarcane field, don't you think? T-Boy was tired and weak and flustered by golly, until White Shrimp Boots tripped on a green turtle shell in the town of Zwolle. Here he is. He found his terrible turtle. He tripped over him with his white shrimp boots in the city of Zwolle. That's Zwolle. That's another new word for you. There you are, T-Boy hollered as he gave the rascal reptile a huge hug before they napped under a Louisiana moon, smiling safe and snug. So he's finally with his terrible turtle. T-Boy is so happy that he's with him. And he calls him his rascal reptile, and he loves him very much. But he's so happy he found his terrible turtle. Now, that's the end of the story. But do you know a little bit about all these towns that the author wrote about? Mr. Mel LeCompte Jr. has also another area in his book called Who Knew Dat? D-A-T. There's a pavilion in Abita Springs that was originally built for the 1884 World's Fair in New Orleans. And it was moved to Abita Springs to help shelter one of its famous water sources. Excuse me, I meant to say 1984. In the city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana State University mascot, Mike the Tiger, lives in a $3 million habitat that is approximately 15,000 square feet in area. That's the size of about 10 homes. Now, Crawley, the people of Crawley are fanatical about their rice farms. In fact, The town's annual rice festival came about in 1937 when former Governor Richard Lesh saw a lady wearing a rice costume who came up with the idea. The festival occurs every October. The town of Church Point calls itself the buggy capital of the world. Every June, the people hold a festival to celebrate the horse-drawn carts. In April, the town throws another festival, Cajun Woodstock, to raise money for St. Jude's Hospital, one of my favorite charities too. Dry Prong received its name from a family of settlers moved to the town in 1870. Planning to build a water-powered sawmill in the area, they soon discovered that the creek ran dry every summer. Eunice is one of the several small Cajun towns with a cur. That's C-O-U-R-I-R. In a cur, masked riders on horseback approach farmhouses and ask for ingredients to make a gumbo. Besides sausage and seasonings, every now and then a live chicken is offered. The bird must be chased and caught if the riders want to eat. There's also Franklin. It's a small town of about 8,000 people, and it's home to 4 past Louisiana governors, including Mike Foster, a huge fan of motorcycles. I'd also like to say about New Iberia. Near New Iberia is Avery Island, home to not only a famous hot sauce factory, but to a bird sanctuary and a 1,000-year-old statue of Buddha. Besides being home to a gaggle of great musicians, New Orleans is host to a world-class children's museum, a zoo, aquarium, insectarium, and IMAX theater. Of course, there is Mardi Gras. Many locals love to experience Carnival in the suburb of Metairie, home of the Family Gras Festival. The people of Opelousas love to cook and dance. Every spring, the town puts on a music and market event. On Fridays during music and market, people dance to Zydeco and Cajun music while they buy fresh produce from local farmers. The city of Rain describes itself as the frog capital of the world. In 1997, Rain was awarded a mention in Ripley's Believe It or Not for St. Joseph's Cemetery, listed in Ripley's as the only cemetery in the U.S. that faces north and south. I'm learning something new today myself. For over a decade in the town of Ville Platte, the Tea Cotton Bowl was an annual event. It's a prep football game between the Ville Platte Bulldogs and the Sacred Heart Trojans, and it became quite popular. Also, let's see, Winsboro is known as the Stars and Stripes capital of Louisiana. On certain patriotic holidays, this town is filled with over a mile of American flags, waving proudly. Most of these flags were previously draped on the deceased veterans and donated to veterans' families in their memory. In 2010, an African serval cat, about 3 feet long and strongly resembling a cheetah, was spotted in the town of Youngsville. Several traps were spread about town, especially in the town's many sugarcane fields. I just love this wonderful story, and I'm hoping that you're enjoying it as much as me. Oh, the Festival International de Louisiane is held every April in Lafayette, right here. So that's going to be coming up soon. It's the free 5-day festival, brings in musical performers from across the globe. Musicians from as far away as Canada, the Caribbean, Europe, and even Africa get a chance to strut their stuff on stage. Well, I hope that you're enjoying the story, and I'm enjoying reading this story to you. It's T-Boy and the Terrible Turtle, one rascal reptile's trip across the Bayou State. Thank you so much for being with me today, and I look forward to the next time that we get together, because this is going to be every week you're going to be seeing me read different stories. I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Happy Easter.